Yeah, I completely agree. I also think that really helps us tie back to the idea of many parts of the yoga practice, which is plain and simple, it's something that you do every single day. And so you're building up some level of a stamina for that activity. And how do you do that? Because one of the things that I think we always focus on across the board in the way that we teach it and what we share is this idea and this concept of steadily building up your baseline. So what your baseline is what you can currently do, right? So you can currently feel comfortable practicing yoga 4 days a week for 30 to 45 minutes, for example, right? If you want that to increase, we're either increasing the time on the mat, or we're increasing the intensity, or we're increasing the days.
Yeah, the repetition.
The amount of repetition, right? So those are the three things that we're really looking to create a deeper understanding towards, because being able to elevate your baseline is what's going to help you apply your recovery process to your yoga practice the most. Because while so many people, no matter what, they reference or frame a class, we talk about this all the time and you can build upon it, as a hips class, a hamstrings class, a back bending class, a handstands class, whatever it is, what kind of class is it?
It's an everything class.
It's an everything class.
It's everything class.
It's an everything class.
Everything is everything.
Yeah. One of the beautiful parts of the yoga practice is that there's not necessarily much of a segmentation of the body. Everything connects. It's this idea of everything all the time that's part of the journey. And so as you begin to consider these things, you really want to try to tune into how you're allowing your whole body to recover.
And also within the lens of yoga, I think we often consider, if we had like a spectrum, we'll think, okay, power vinyasa is up here and like yin yoga and restore is down here. So our brain often thinks, okay, if I need to recover from power yoga up here, I must need to slide down right into yin yoga and restorative, because energetically they feel like a polarity,
a good
right?
balance.
And in theory, yes, but if we want to really think about, okay, what did I do in that power vinyasa class that requires recovery, right? There's a certain level of pace, there's a certain level of repetition, intensity, all of that. And then if you think about, say, a yin yoga class, well, depending on what that is, you're changing the intensity in terms of cardiovascular output, but you may not be changing the intensity in terms of what you're actually asking of the tissues, right? So you're recovering on one end because now you're not asking for that quick flow, that rapid breathing and the change from the respiratory system, but maybe you did a power vinyasa hips class, an everything class, but it had a lot of hips. And then you take a yin class thinking, I'm using this as recovery, and it's all yin hip stuff. Okay, so from a, in theory, nervous system standpoint, yes, that's a lovely balance. But from a tissue standpoint, you're asking the same things to do hard work again.
Yep.
And the time under tension, even if it's lower in a yin class or whatever it is.
Even if the tension is lower.
That's what I'm saying. Even if the time is higher, but the tension is lower, you're still putting input and asking adaptation of those muscles and those tissues and connective tissues. I think we get confused sometimes, and then we wonder why I don't feel any better, or I keep stretching and I still feel tight. I keep that, like, that it's not so much as just let me find the exact opposite. It's instead to think about, okay, what do I need to balance this out and to provide what my body needs, nervous system and physical system, the outer system, to actually rebound. Because I think of recovery as more of this like rebound, a recoil, as opposed to like just drop into a pit, fully recover, and then you climb out brand new. It's like we want to be able
like
to...
Like The Dark Knight Rises.
Yes. Like
Batman Nightfall.
What is it? You were raised in the dark? I was born in the dark?
Yeah.
I fucked that up.
It's okay.
You know,
I was hoping you were into a Bane voice, but you didn't. So
I truly considered it, but then I thought this mic is so intense that it might I'm already off to a tough start today. But
yeah, it's not like a Lazarus pit.
It's not a Lazarus pit. And so recovery, really, I think of it as trying to find the optimal...
Or a Banta tank.
Oh, yeah. Banta? BAFTA?
No, BAFTA.
BAFTA.
BAFTA. Banta is... This Star Wars reference. Banta is what they ride.
Is they ride. That's the big guys. But
the
a BAFTA tank is
Book of Boba Fett, essentially.
Well, it's the entire show.
The
Every
entire,
episode. Here we are in the tank again,
yeah.
recovering. Yeah. This man should not be fighting anymore, right? He needs too much recovery.
But
that's telling us that our spectrum is off. If you needed to be in the BAFTA tank every day, dog, you're not up to snuff anymore.
Yeah.
We got to scale it back. You got to hire some mercenaries
What? Yeah, exactly.
and not some teenagers.
Yeah, Luke only had to be in the BAFTA tank just for that brief moment in Empire Strikes Back after, sleeping in the, it's not a wampa. It's because that's what he sleeps in the.
Oh, we're terrible today with our references.
No, the references are great. We're just terrible.
No, but
with
the
our,
naming
The
conventions.
naming conventions are a little off. In Empire Strikes Back, the thing he rides out there has to sleep in.
Okay, but other end of the spectrum too, while we're here, is that if you're Anakin becoming Darth, you have to be in the tank a lot.
A lot.
Because your whole body got taken down pretty much.
Yeah.
We got to build it back up. Okay, so
Yeah.
those are spectrums of recovery. Now that we have got to, we've got to see. But what we don't want is to be in the Boba Fett Darth category where
Yes.
that's how much recovery you need. If you are taking classes or you're looking at, say, Mobility March, and you've done every single thing every day, the 4 classes a week, and you've said, I love mobility so much, on all my off days, on my non-new release days, I'm also going to take the hardest, longest mobility class I can take. And if you do that and your tissues, your body, your nervous system starts to feel like overloaded, let's call it, whether it's physical soreness, whether it's fatigue, whether it's inability to perform like you were hoping to, or you're not seeing any progression, right? Because every time you have to start back because there's a lot of recoiling that needs to be done, but it's not actually happening. That's a sign that you might need to be in that BAFTA tank for a while before you'd actually back up to snuff. That's not what we want. We want to be able to rebound as efficiently as possible so we can continue to do what we want to do. So in the yoga practice, again, a yin practice, I think restorative, if we're going to delineate, is a much better thing to look to for recovery than yin yoga. Restorative is going to be more of that creative napping, fully supported, very, very minimal effort in your body. And so if your body needs a recovery tank, then a restorative practice is going to give you that both physically and nervous system wise, much better than even a yin practice, which is still asking for tissue adaptation. And every time we have that stress on our bodies, there has to be recovery. Just like we talked about, mobility is a strength training, strength at length. Mobility is not necessarily recovery. Hard pails and rails, things like that, that is not recovery. But some dynamic stretching, some movement, some flow, that might be good recovery to just continue to keep the juices moving and not get stuck up.
Just to embellish on that, one of the best things that you can do is move every day.
Yes.
One of the single best things that you can do for recovery is move every single day.